Welcome to Around the World Today. I'm your host, Terry Davies, and today we are venturing into one of the coldest, most desolate and least explored regions of the planet, the British Overseas Territory, spanning a large proportion of the frozen continent. This territory is unlike any other we've covered so far. It has no permanent residents. Its primary focus is on scientific research, and it plays a key role in global environmental monitoring and climate science. But what does this frozen wilderness bring to the UK, and why is it important on the global stage? Join me as we journey to the bottom of the earth to explore the role of the British Antarctic Territory in science, geopolitics, and the fight against climate change.
Welcome everybody to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Let's start by painting a picture of the British Antarctic Territory, or BAT for short, covering an area of more than 660,000 square miles. This territory emphasises a vast stretch of Antarctica, including parts of the Antarctic Peninsula, the South Orkney Islands, and the South Shetland Islands. And don't they sound like they're in Scotland? There are no permanent inhabitants, but scientists from various countries operate research stations here, studying everything from glaciology and meteorology to wildlife and marine ecosystems. The BAT is permanently known as a hub for scientific exploration. Since the 1950s, the British researchers have been leading explorations to the territory, the study the impacts of climate change, monitor wildlife populations, and conduct groundbreaking research on ice sheets and ocean currents. The territory is governed by the Antarctic Treaty, an international agreement that is designed and designates Antarctica as a scientific preserve and bans military action on the continent. So it is the only place in the world where you cannot have a military. The only place in the world where there can actually be peace, because militaries and missiles and so on are banned. Science is the heartbeat of the British Antarctic Territory. The UK operates several research stations in the region, including the ROFR research station, which is the main hub for British scientific activity in Antarctica. These stations support hundreds of scientists and staff who work year-round in some of the hardest conditions on Earth. One of the key areas of research is the study of ice cores. Scientists drill deep into the Antarctic ice sheet to extract cores that can reveal information about the Earth's climate over the past hundreds of thousands of years. This data is crucial for understanding how our climate has changed in the past, and predicting the future trends, the BAT also plays a significant role in wildlife research. The region is home to the iconic species like the emperor penguin. I'm now thinking of Happy Feet, seals, and various seabirds. Monitoring these species helps scientists understand the health of the Antarctic ecosystem, which in turn provides insights into the broader impacts of global warming. Antarctica is often described as the canary in the coal mine for climate change. The continent's ice sheets are melting at an accelerating rate, contributing to the rising sea levels and changes in ocean circulation. The British Antarctic Territory is at the forefront of efforts to monitor these changes and understand their implementations of the rest of the world. British scientists in Antarctica are studying the melting of the Western Antarctic ice sheet, one of the most unstable parts of the continent. If this ice sheet were to collapse, it could rise global sea levels by 7 meters, flooding coastal cities and displacing millions of people. The research being done in the British Antarctic Territory is vital for predicting these outcomes and informing global policy on climate change. While Antarctica is a place of peace and science, under the Antarctic Treaty, it is also a region of geopolitical importance. The British Antarctic Territory is one of several territories claims in Antarctica, but these claims are held in abeyance under the treaty, which prohibits new claims or expansion of existing ones. However, with the discovery of potential resources like oil, gas, and minerals beneath Antarctica's icy surface, the region's geopolitical significance could grow in the coming decades, while current international agreements prohibit resource extraction. The prospect of future claims could stir tensions between countries, especially as global demand for natural resources increases. For now, the UK's focus is on in the British Antarctic Territory remains on science and conservation, but the region's strategic importance cannot be overlooked, as like countries such as China, Russia, increase their presence in Antarctica, the UK's involvement in the BAT is also a matter for maintaining a foothold in global commons. Living and working in the British Antarctic Territory is not for the faint-hearted. The temperature can plummet to -80 during the winter months, and the sun disappears entirely for the months on end. Yet, despite these extreme conditions, scientists and support staff carry out crucial research year-round. The rover research station serves as a base for many of these scientists, providing essential facilities like labs, living quarters, and communication links to the outside world. The station is equipped to handle the extreme cold, and those who live and work there must undergo rigorous training in survival techniques, from operating snowmobiles to building emergency shelters in case of storms. Although isolated, the community is tight-knit, and the scientists often speak of a unique camaraderie that develops in such remote and challenging environments. For many, the opportunity to work in one of the last true wildernesses on Earth is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Conservation is a key priority in the British Antarctic Territory. Under the Antarctic Treaty, the region is protected as a global commons directed to scientific research and environmental preservation. The UK, alongside other signatory nations, is committed to maintaining Antarctica's unique ecosystems and ensuring that human activity in the region has a minimal impact on the environment. One of the major conservation initiatives in the BAT is the protection of marine life. The surrounding waters are home to a rich array of marine species, including krill, which is a coral part of the Antarctic food web. Overfishing of krill and other species poses a significant threat to the region's biodiversity, and the UK has worked with international partners to establish marine protected areas that limit commercial fishing and safeguards these distinctive ecosystems. The future of Antarctica depends on a continued international cooperation as the effects of climate change, interdiversity, the research being conducted in the British Antarctic Territory will become even more crucial in shaping global environmental policies. That brings us to the end of this episode of Around the World Today. The British Antarctic Territory may be a cold, desolate and inhospitable place. And I'm now thinking back to Dad's Army, and I've mentioned it in a previous episode, in a previous series, about Private Fraser and the Isle of Barra. And the British Antarctic Territory actually sounds like Fraser's Isle of Barra. But it is also a place of immense scientific importance and environmental significance as the world grapples with the challenges of climate change. The research being done in this remote part of the world could hold the key to understanding our planet's future. Join me next time when we continue our journey through the British overseas territories with a look at Turks and Caicos Islands, where there are white sands, beaches, meet a thriving tourism industry. Until next time, I'm Terry Davies, and thank you for listening to Around the World Today. Make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to leave us a review on your favourite podcast platform.
To an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share,